Supervisor Clapp, did you have a chance to view the video? Okay, and you're confident you saw what you needed to see? Okay. So I'm looking for a motion. Do I have a motion to not put any of these items on the ballot?
Chair, I think the best way to do it would be to see if there's a motion to put anything on the ballot first, and then we can work from
Do
there.
I have a motion to put anything on the ballot?
We don't.
Okay, so do we have, so we're not, do we have, well, we have no motion at all, so we're going to go forward with this item and not doing anything. Let me read it.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
does that go for all the items listed in the recommendation as far as the EIR, the CEQA findings, and the resolutions?
We don't need to certify the EIR for not putting anything on the ballot.
Mr. Mauer, is that accurate?
So the certification of the EIR was for this specific action. When you adopted the ban ordinance you certified the EIR at that point in time for that purpose. So this is a separate action.
Yeah.
I think if you choose to not take any action, it just means no action was taken, nothing goes on the ballot, and the proposal before you dies. So
Exactly.
If there's no desire to put anything on the ballot, there's no motion to do so, then there's no other action that needs to be taken. You may want to take a affirmative action to not take an action just to make it very clear, but by not passing a motion, it has the same effect.
So we have no action, we have no motions coming forward. So the item dies for inaction, okay? Moving on to the next item. Madam Clerk.
Supervisor announcements. In compliance with AB 1234, chaptered as Government Code Section 532.32.3D, board members shall provide brief reports on meetings they attended at the expense of the local agency at the next regular meeting of the legislative body. This report is required to include meetings attended for which there has been expense reimbursement, mileage, meals, lodging, etc., but may also, at the board member's discretion, include any other meeting attended by the supervisor on behalf of the county.
We'll start with Supervisor Garamendi.
I have nothing that I'm required to report under AB 1234 this time. So in the interest of a long day, I will save my report till next week.
Supervisor Oliveira.
I wish I could say that, but I do have some things I need to report out. I attended the Ebbets Pass Fire Department Firefighters Association meeting held on Saturday the 3rd in the morning. Listened to their operations and their suggestions, and once again I must commend the Ebbets Pass Fire District for doing what they do so well. They were just an outstanding group of individuals, firefighters, both men and women, and I'm very proud to have them in my district and being part of their district. I was a judge at the Murphy's Hotel Chili Cook-Off, which is about 3 years in a row, and had some great chili.
Can we have quiet out there, please? Thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Supervisor Oliveira.
Thank you. Been doing that on an annual basis for about 3 to 4 years. I had a meeting with our new Economic Development Director, Catherine Galindo. That turned out very good. I found that she was very well briefed on some of the issues that I'm experiencing up in District 3, and seeing she's only been on board for about a week. I found her very knowledgeable and engaging. She is taking part in those activities, and I think we made a good choice with her so far. I attended the Chamber's Good Morning Breakfast on Wednesday, the 7th. Once again, Dr. Smart was here earlier. I guess he's not here. The folks in the Chamber once again are doing a great job. It's a very difficult time, especially with no snow in my district, to get visitors up here. The bottom line is I think the Chamber is doing everything they possibly can to make Calaveras County a place to come and see and visit, and engaging our businesses. Being in this chair for the last 3+ years, this is the best effort I've seen to make Calaveras County a place to come and do business in. And also the Visitors Bureau is doing the same thing. I request they keep up the good work. I did attend the Ebbets Pass Property Owners Committee meeting right after that. I was actually the guest speaker up there, addressing the issues of Calaveras County, especially in District 3 in the Ebbets Pass area. And we discussed a variety of issues: water, tree mortality, marijuana, other things. But I like attending those meetings. Unfortunately, sometimes I do have a conflict when we have board meetings and things, but fortunately, we're able to make that schedule. I took a tour of Rite of Passage at their request. Rite of Passage is an organization located up on Freecott City Road at the very end. And it'd been about 5-6 years since I'd been up there as a deputy. Once in a while, as the deputy will tell you, we have occasion to go up there and perform law enforcement duties. I got a call and a request to be on a member of their advisory board. So to take a look at that and see what's going on, I did go up to ROP, what's called Rite of Passage, and I was amazingly impressed. It was something that I hadn't seen in 5 years, and what a great facility up there, and what a great structured program. That's not county sponsored, folks. That's done by pure donations. It's a private school, and it's for 14 to 18-year-old juveniles that have had run-ins with the law, some other things. It's an actual accredited school. It's an academy. And I would be honored to be a member of their advisory board, which I am going to do. I would recommend that everybody take a good long look at that. They're offering now open tours and what they do and how they accomplish things. Their success rate is very good. But it's something that you need to take a look at. If you want to think about our community and helping those folks that are in trouble and seek the way to go the right path, the Rite of Passage is the way to go. I don't know if they're faith-based or anything, and they didn't appear to be, but once again, I'd be happy to be on their advisory board. I did have a meeting with a project called The Farm. That's a project coming into District 3, and that's a new inventive way to actually provide what they call ag recreation. I'm sure that the folks on the farm know what they're doing. We're working with our independent, actually we're working with our internal departments, planning department, building department, actually our public works. It's a project that's going to involve somewhat of a glamping atmosphere with a restaurant. They're going to have an area that you can actually lease out for your 4-H projects for the folks that don't have that ability to keep that farm animal there. It's on the drawing board right now. Great project. I'm glad to have that happen in District 3. It's going to be on 6 Mile Road, and it's going to be between Highway 4 and Ironstone on the lower side. Once again, it's a project in progress, and we'll see what happens. Finally, I attended a community meeting in the Blue Lake Springs 14, 15, 16 area, which is unrepresented by a homeowners association. The good news is that I made it out of there. The bad news is we talked about the Murphy's Drive Bridge, which is damaged and unpassable since January of 2017. after hearing the public, which was attended by almost 100 people, which was wonderful for a community. We actually held it in a cul-de-sac. It was at a person's home, and they got everybody together, brought their lawn chairs, and we sat down and talked for a couple hours and decided, number one, what our problems were, and number two, how we're going to fix them. I was very encouraged by the close of the meeting because when we went there, and you have to stand there and listen to folks with legitimate complaints, and you don't have the right answers to give them right then and there. We turned that into a real productive meeting where, as a group, we got together and found out what we can and can't do. And sure enough, they had a sign-up sheet out there with 25 signatures. And actually last night they had a meeting, and things are going in the right direction. So I'm pretty proud to be part of that. A little touchy when I first got there. There's a lot of angry people, and understandably so, but we were able to sit down and talk. So I'm glad about that. That's about it, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Mills.
I don't know if I'm that busy. Thank you for being busy. January 25th was at the Treasury Oversight Committee review. February 1st, we attended the Highway 4 Working Group, and what really was the highlight there was we had Jeff Krovitz with Public Works discussing with the various utilities that were attending about the Dig Once policy, and I know that has started to spread out a little bit because there was some discussion with Dave Edgerton with CCWD as a result of that conversation. So if it highlights awareness and saves both the utilities and the county money in doing road overlays, that's a big win. February 2nd, Chamber of Commerce dinner. I know there was 3 other supervisors there. February 3rd, Copperopolis Lions Club dinner, about 200 plus in attendance at that. February 6th, Coffee Talk Tuesday in Angels Camp. The Chamber of Commerce presented their On the Right Track program, and I thought that's a great start for our young people, and I know I will probably be helping them with that. Cal Waste also explained that plastic is going to be a difficult issue to recycle here going forward because China is not wanting to accept a lot of the plastic that we're shipping them right now, and it's getting very touchy. Good morning, Calaveras. Scott Nanick with the Calaveras Board of Education spoke. The key for me was that there's a 17% truancy rate in Calaveras County. That was quite shocking. At Council of Governments that evening, they accepted the overall work plan for the county and the City of Angels Camp. February 8th, Murphy Sanitary. They are working on some boundary changes. That's the first time in literally 40 years that I can think that they might have be thinking about expanding their boundaries. Copper Fire is looking forward to the water enhancement fee changes. They stated clearly through their board they do not support a fireworks ban in their area. They've purchased a fit test unit for their SCBA's, and the Code 5 payments are going to severely help their budget. So they're really going to be helped in their overall. February 10th, we judged the 4-H presentations here in San Andreas, and then that evening at the Murphy's Arnold Booster Dinner. So that's all I have.
Supervisor Clapp.
Yeah, I attended the CSA 1, and I attended the Lackawanna Homeowners Association. They still have a large turnout to homeowners. They're feuding right now. And actually, I joined you with the district, I think last week, for Valley Springs.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it.
And in the interest of time, I will report out next Tuesday's meeting. So, staff, you have anything to report? No? All right. We will go into public comments.
George Fry. President's Day, February 19th. There's going to be a dedication and grand opening by the Jenny Lynn Veterans Memorial District for the new hall. And I would hope that you folks will go to that. It's at 11 o'clock in the morning until 1. And also, I received a flag which is going to be presented that day at the hall, and the flag says, "This is certified that the accompanying flag was flown over the United States Capitol on March 8, 2016. At the request of Honorable John Garamendi, Member of Congress, this flag was flown for Abigail Fisher in honor of the United States of America and all of those that have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. Also, at the dedication, the flag is going to be dedicated on behalf of Supervisor Garamendi's grandfather, who was a major in World War II. And also Supervisor Garamendi has a brick at the new hall. Also, I have mentioned this before, but Supervisor Garamendi is an Army veteran, first lieutenant, is that correct? Yeah, first lieutenant. So I want you to thank your dad for providing this flag. I met him at a crab feed in his district, District 3, and asked him if he could provide a flag for the dedication. And so I just hope everybody in TV land will come and see the new building and the dedication and the grand opening. Thank you very much.
George, before you go away, could you repeat the date?
Yes, it's the 19th. It's President's Day.
Thank you.
It's from 11 until 1. I'd love to see a big turnout. Thank you.
Ben Stopper, District 5. I would like to address following forward with the wild and scenic designation from the McComey River that was brought up earlier today during public comment. The wild and scenic designation, while there are very good points to it that we all want to preserve within our rural community, at the same time it ties our hands for us being able to access what we have rights as a community. The wild and scenic designation, 30 some odd miles they're talking about of the McComey River is not all that it's talking about. It's talking about a measurement up both sides of the canyon and all contributing tributaries, which means it goes all the way to the top of the Sierras. So this is tying your hands, this is tying Alpine's hands, this is tying Amador County's hands. We, as a county, have more water rights on the McComey through Calaveras Public Utility District, Calaveras County Water District, than any of the counties surrounding us. Same with the Stanislaus. You know, Tuolumne has no water rights comparatively. But at this point, we have to realize that while the wild and scenic has many good standards about it that we all believe in, the fact that it ties our hands for being able to access certain rights that we've had, and some of those are pre-1914 water rights, which they can't take away from us other than us not being able to access it. And once that water leaves the county or hits Pardee or Comanche, we lose control. So I would agree with what Ms. Reinke brought up earlier today, and the fact that this is a very concerning for our county, and this is our future. Look, when we look at Pardee and Comanche, that's East Bay mud. These rights were sold down the road in 1930s with no thought to the future for what I believe was near $11 million. That money spent long ago. Do we see anything coming back to our county? We have a large amount of water rights on the McComey, but nothing compared to the Stanislaus. These are contributing factors to our county that we need to hold on, gentlemen. We need to support our water districts in their fight to retain these rights, and we need to put our voice and made it heard at the state level as, look, wild and scenic, while a majority of it may be a good idea for preserving the beauty that we love and we live here for, at the same time, it's tying our hands and be able to do what we want to in the future in our own property and getting rid of our property rights. Thank you.
I disagree with everyone about everything. But I would like to ask you all if you had a chance to see.
Wait. Did you speak earlier? You spoke earlier, you had your book, you had definitions, so you spoke already.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Did you see the moon? Did anybody see the moon?
No, we've been in here.
I didn't see the moon either, and I didn't speak. Al Segala, Taxpayer Association. We also agree that you really need to reconfirm your opposition to the wild and scenic. It's terrible. As I understand it, after a lot of debate and people that know history better than me, a previous board actually endorsed the wild and scenic, and then subsequent to that, a wiser board rejected it. And I hope that you be like the wiser board and also reject it. I'll ask my supervisor to put it on the agenda if it's possible. On our Taxpayer Association, tomorrow we're having our monthly board directors meeting, which taxpayers can go to. We're going to have an interesting guest for about an hour. That's our county auditor. And we'll try to cover all the issues that are concerned to the taxpayer, and other people that might want to attend are welcome to, but they need to call first thing in the morning so we can make sure that we have room. We're at the library, but we're in a small conference room. We have coming up on Taxpayer Alert, Thursday we'll be taping our friend John Hamilton with the pine tree, and he's going to give the inside scoop on the how network or how internet news works. And then prior to that, we're going to have Robin Danfelt. Robin Danfelt is also running for auditor, and we need to balance because we had Rebecca on our program recently. And so Robin and John will be our guests for next Thursday, and that'll be available on YouTube probably a few days after that, depending on how fast Susan works. And that's it. Thank you for the good work you do.
Any other public comments? Seeing none, we'll close the meeting.